What's good, everybody? It's your boy Rexonmax, and you know we have to discuss it. Can there be an FGC GOAT? We have to discuss it. Can there be a greatest of all time within the FGC? What's the criteria for that? What are we looking for? Is somebody already there? Did somebody already surpass somebody else? Let's talk about it. So this whole conversation of the FGC GOAT thing came about with a post from Rob TV. Now he was responding to someone else, and he said Mena winning 3 Capcom Cups would make him the GOAT of fighting games, in my opinion. Winning 3 before anyone else wins 2, greatest feat ever. Now it was some people that agree with him, it was some people that disagree with him. It was a nice little mixed bag in here and stuff like that. So you have people of various different opinions. The people on his side was saying that yes, this would be a fantabulous feat of him winning 3 Capcom Cups in a row. Nothing like this had ever been done. Some people were saying like, yeah, I mean, I agree that the GOAT is in the Street Fighter round, but it's probably not Mena RD. Even if he won 3 Capcom Cups, it'd probably be like Daigo or somebody like that because of everything he's done in the community. I mean, Daigo was like the grandfather of basically showing you that fighting games could create a new form of life for you. Then you have other people saying that nah, it's not possible. I mean, how can you be the GOAT of fighting games when you only are in one fighting game? You gotta be spread across multiple different fighting games. So I mean, looking at all this, I mean, when you bring up the topic, we've talked about fighting game GOATs before here on TVFGC, and when it came to fighting game GOATs, we leaned more towards Justin Wong back then. But now with having more, information, knowing different players and stuff like that, it's really kind of like not really too definitive. I mean, in recent times, you have names like Sonic Fox that come to hand. I mean, he's been out here basically winning anything that he wants. I mean, he basically has like an Evo title in every game that he's ever mained. I mean, from Mortal Kombat to Skullgirls, Injustice. I don't remember if he had one in Injustice. I might be wrong in that. But I mean, he's winning like at the highest level in anything that he's put his mind to. Then you have people like Arslan Ash that within a short amount of time has come in and done stuff that people hadn't done in decades of a career. 4 Evo titles in a Tekken World Tour. I mean, he basically won the triple crown of Evo Japan, a Evo Las Vegas, and a Tekken World Tour all in the same year. I mean, the man was on a rampage. And not only that, I mean, he's won at combo breakers and stuff like that. So those are people like in recent times that come to mind. But of course, you have the GOATs. You have the people like Daigo, who, I mean, does Daigo really need any rundown of his resume? I mean, multiple time Evo champion in different games, whether it's Guilty Gear, whether it's in the Street Fighter. I mean, he has the most iconic moment in fighting games ever, Evo Moment 37. I mean, he has taken fighting games into the mainstream. He has his own books. I mean, his Moment 37 is basically in mainstream media lore at this point. So then you have people like Tokido. I mean, Tokido is just known as one of the most gifted, amazing fighting game players of all time. If you talk about just raw talent, one of the best players that you've ever seen. Then I know this is a name that, it might be like a controversial name, but Infiltration was amazing. I mean, I'm not really like up to date if he's doing anything now, but I mean, he's amazing. I mean, Evo titles, in Street Fighter, Samurai Showdown. I mean, he had such a deep bag. Like, it was tough to beat him in tournaments because he could always counterpick. He plays so many different characters at a high level. It was amazing to see him play. Then you have like lesser known people that people don't really talk about a lot, but Bass from Capcom versus SNK. He's been all the way back at Evo since Battle from the Bay, winning like Alpha 2 titles. I mean, he has the most Evo titles of all time. A lot of people think it's Justin Wong. It's not. It's Bass. Bass has 10 Evo titles, 11 Evo titles if you count Battle by the Bay. So he has the most of all time. So then you got to start like putting stuff together, like weighing stuff out. Like, which one weighs more, Evo or a premier like Capcom Cup? Which one weighs more, a Dragon Ball World Tour Finals or Evo? Which one weighs more now? Like, I mean, I'd lean more towards Evo, but I mean, Capcom Cup is legit the best of the best of that game coming together, and you coming out on top is amazing. And then especially people who won like Capcom Cup titles back in the day when it was off the point system, where you had to go up against like all the Japan players and stuff like that if you ever thought you was gonna win an Evo title. So, you know, Min RD winning his back in the day was a fantabulous feat. So it's so much stuff you can go at. And then, you know, people say like Ryan Hart is to go to the FGC. Ryan Hart is like the Bill Russell of fighting games. The man has won more titles and more tournaments than like you can I mean than many people have played in tournaments. So I mean, you have so many different names that you could throw in there. But I mean, I guess it really depends on your flavor, since there's no set rules. Now when you say like of fighting games, you would think it would have to be somebody that spreads across multiple different fighting games. You know, like Perfect Legend is one of the only people, well, he is the only person at Evo to win a 2D title and a 3D title. He won in Dead or Alive and Mortal Kombat. He's the only person to do that. Leffen is the only person to ever win an Evo title in a main titled Evo game and Smash Brothers. He's the only person to ever do that. You know, so it's like, do you start weighing stuff like that in? You know, but once again, when you think of a run like Arslan Ash, I mean, that's like MJ's three-peats, you know, like such a short amount of time he's doing that. I mean, but you know, it's really all your flavor. Some people like longevity. Some people like just, it's all about titles and accomplishments and the biggest thing that you've ever done. But I mean, I'm you know, of course you have like your old favorites of who you came in the FGC with. Like Daigo is mine. Daigo was the person that just, you know, when you got into fighting games, he was the one that I wanted to see. But then as I get, you know, older and more mature in the FGC, I start respecting people more like Bass, who were like quietly just being like a GOAT in his own right. People like what I talked about before with Perfect Legend and Leffen, who's done stuff that nobody has ever done before. And it's like, you don't know if it's gonna happen, because really think of who's gonna win at a 2D and a 3D game now. Like Sonic Fox might be the closest. I mean, you know, we have Tekken 8 out right now. He's trying to go into Tekken 8 and make that one of his main games. So if he was to ever win an Evo at Tekken 8, that could be, you know, a person who's won at a 2D and a 3D. But it doesn't seem like nobody else is gonna do that. I mean, Ryan Hart, he's had so many different games, but all his titles come from 3D games. They're mostly Tekken. So I look at stuff like that, it's just like, you know, you're touching the echelon nobody's ever done before. So I'm rambling, but y'all let me know in the comments down below. Do you believe that there could be a FGC GOAT? Let me know.